Hello, everybody. This is The Poison Tree by Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay. Chapter 31. Though all else dies, suffering dies not. Srish Chandra was sitting alone in his Boitakana one evening when Nagendra entered, carpet bag in hand, and throwing the bag to a distance, silently took a seat. Srish Chandra, seeing his distressed and wearied condition, was alarmed, but knew not how to ask an explanation. He knew that Nagendra had received the brahmachari's letter at Benares and had gone thence to Madhupur. As he saw that Nagendra would not begin to speak, Srish Chandra took his hand and said, "Brother Nagendra, I am distressed to see you thus silent. Did you not go to Madhupur?" Nagendra only said, "I went." "Did you not meet the brahmachari?" "No." "Did you find Surjamuki?" "Where is she?" Pointing upwards with his finger, Nagendra said, "In heaven." Both sat silent for some moments. Then Nagendra, looking up, said, "You do not believe in heaven." "I do." Srish Chandra knew that formerly Nagendra had not believed in a heaven, and understood why he now did so, understood that this heaven was the creation of love. Not being able to endure the thought that Surjamuki no longer existed, he said to himself, "She is in heaven," and in this thought found comfort. Still they remained silent, for Srish Chandra felt that this was not the time to offer consolation, that words from others would be as poison, their society also. So he went away to prepare a chamber for Nagendra. He did not venture to ask him to eat. He would leave that task to Kamal. But when Kamal Mani heard that Surjamuki was no more, she would undertake no duty. Leaving Satish Chandra for that night, she became invisible. The servants, seeing Kamal Mani bowed to the ground with her hair unbound, left Satish and hurried to her. But Satish would not be left. He had first stood in silence by his weeping mother, and then, with his little finger under her chin, he tried to raise her face. Kamal looked up but did not speak. Satish, wishing to comfort his mother, kissed her. Kamal caressed but did not kiss him, nor did she speak. Satish put his hand on his mother's throat, crept into her lap, and began to cry. Except the Creator, who could enter into that child's heart and discern the cause of his crying? The unfortunate Srish Chandra, left to his own resources, took some food to Nagendra, who said, "I do not want food. Sit down. I have much to say to you. For that I came hither." He then related all that he had heard from Ram Crystal Rai, and detailed his designs for the future. After listening to the narration, Srish Chandra said, "It's surprising that you should not have met the brahmachari, as it is only yesterday he left Calcutta for Madhupur in search of you." "What?" said Nagendra. "How did you meet with the brahmachari?" "He's a very noble person," answered Srish. "Not receiving a reply to his letter to you, he went to Govinpur in search of you. There he learned that his letter would be sent on to Benares. This satisfied him, and without remark to anyone, he went on his business to Purushottam. Returning thence, he again went to Govinpur. Still, hearing nothing of you, he was informed that I might have news. He came to me the next day, and I showed him your letter. Yesterday he started for Govinpur, expecting to meet you last night at Ranagunj." "I was not at Ranagunj last night," said Nagendra. "Did he tell you anything of Surjamuki?" "I will tell you all that tomorrow," said Srish. "You think my suffering will be increased by hearing it." "Tell me all," entreated Nagendra. Then Srish Chandra repeated what the brahmachari had told him of his meeting Surjamuki by the roadside, her illness, medical treatment, and improvement in health. Omitting many painful details, he concluded with the words, "Ram Crystal Rai did not relate all that Surjamuki had suffered." On hearing this, Nagendra rushed out of the house. Srish Chandra would have gone with him, but Nagendra would not allow it. The wretched man wandered up and down the road like a madman for hours. He wished to forget himself in the crowd, but at that time there was no crowd, and who can forget himself? Then he returned to the house and sat down with Srish Chandra, to whom he said, "The brahmachari must have learned from her where she went and what she did. Tell me all he said to you." "Why talk of it now?" said Srish. "Take some rest." Nagendra frowned and commanded Srish Chandra to speak. Srish perceived that Nagendra had become like a madman. His face was dark as a thundercloud. Afraid to oppose him, he consented to speak, and Nagendra's face relaxed. He began. Walking slowly from Governpur, Surjamukhi came first in this direction. What distance did she walk daily? Interrupted Nagendra. 2 or 3 miles. She did not take a farthing from home. How did she live? Some days fasting, some days begging. Are you mad? With these words, Srish Chandra threatened Nagendra, who had clutched at his own throat as though to strangle himself, saying, If I die, shall I meet Surjamukhi? Srish Chandra held the hands of Nagendra, who then desired him to continue his narrative. If you will not listen calmly, I will tell you no more, said Srish. But Nagendra heard no more. He lost consciousness. With closed eyes he sought the form of the heaven-ascended Surjamukhi. He saw her seated as a queen upon a jeweled throne. The perfumed wind played in her hair. All around, flowering birds sang with the voice of the lute. At her feet blossomed hundreds of red water lilies. In the canopy of her throne 100 moons were shining, surrounded by hundreds of stars. He saw himself in a place full of darkness, pain in all his limbs, demons inflicting blows upon him, Surjamukhi forbidding them with her outstretched finger. With much difficulty, Srish Chandra restored Nagendra to consciousness, whereupon Nagendra cried loudly, Surjamukhi, dearer to me than life, where art thou? At this cry, Srish Chandra, stupefied and frightened, sat down in silence. At length, recovering his natural state, Nagendra said, Speak. What can I say? Asked Srish. Speak, said Nagendra. If you do not, I shall die before your eyes. Then Srish said, If Surjamukhi did not endure this suffering many days, a wealthy Brahmin traveling with his family had to come as far as Calcutta by boat on his way to Benares. One day, as Surjamukhi was lying under a tree on the river's bank, the Brahmin family came there to cook. The Grahini entered into conversation with Surjamukhi and, pitying her condition, took her into the boat, as she had said that she was also going to Benares. What is the name of that Brahmin? Where does he live? Asked Nagendra, thinking that by some means he would find out the man and reward him. He then bade Srish Chandra continue. Surjamukhi, continued Srish, traveled as one of the family as far as the Bari, the Calcutta by boat to Raniganj by rail, from Raniganj by bullock train. So far Surjamukhi proceeded in comfort. After that, did a Brahmin dismiss her? Asked Nagendra. No, replied Srish. Surjamukhi herself took leave. She went no further than Benares. How many days could she go on without seeing you? With that purpose she returned to Bari on foot. As Srish Chandra spoke, tears came into his eyes, the sight of which was an infinite comfort to Nagendra, who rested his head on the shoulder of Srish and wept. Since entering the house, Nagendra had not wept. His grief had been beyond tears. But now the stream of sorrow found free vent. He cried like a boy, and his suffering was much lessened thereby. The grief that cannot weep is the messenger of death. As Nagendra became calmer, Srish Chandra said, We will speak no more of this today. What more is there to say? Said Nagendra. The rest that happened I've seen with my own eyes. From Bari she walked alone to Madhupur. From fatigue, fasting, sun, rain, despair, and grief, Surjamukhi, seized by illness, fell to the ground, ready to die. Srish Chandra was silent for a time. At length he said, Brother, why dwell upon this any longer? You're not in fault. You did nothing to oppose or vex her. There's no cause to repent of that which has come about without fault of your own. Nagendra did not understand. He knew himself to blame for all. Why had he not torn up the seed of the poison tree from his heart?